Okay, apparently I am back. All right, here we go. Apparently I am back now. Yay. Well, let me just reset and find out what was happening. Anyway, folks, let me just check in the chat. I'm not sure what happened. Did you hear the beginning part? Did you hear the beginning part? All good now? Wow, that's frustrating. Oh, man. Change a couple settings and look what happens. My goodness. Looks like we're going to be doing a lot of testing this weekend. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we're back. And I was talking about fact-checking the earthquake of 2001. Everyone's got me, right? There he is. So it looks like I'm good on Rumble. Looks like I'm good on YouTube. Did not hear the beginning part. Okay. Did you hear the beginning part on Rumble? Can you let me know if you heard the beginning part on Rumble? My little monologue and everything. Someone on Rumble can let me know. Oh, man. Okay. Did not. Okay, so it looks like live chat reminder. No. No begging here. Not on Rumble either. Okay. Well, I tell you what, folks. Let's start the show over. Okay. I'll go to the beginning. Oh, that is okay. Let me. Yes, I know the letter Q is okay. All right. Redo. Let's redo it, folks. I'll hit the music, and we'll start again, shall we? Let's start again. Hey, I guess things are working. Perhaps. We'll just have to find out. Welcome to the show, everyone. And wow, what a day. Beginning of the show did not go very well, but I guess we get to do a redo, right? We can do a redo. Sure, why not? I was thinking today about the definition of insanity. They say it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there who are certifiably insane. Take politicians, for example. They keep promising us the moon, but all we ever get is a crater. It's like that guy who goes to Taco Bell, gets the same lunch over and over again, expecting this time it's not going to wreck his insides. Insanity. What about celebrities? They keep getting married and divorced like it's a game of musical chairs. It's like the person that keeps dating the same type of person over and over, hoping this time it'll work out. Insanity. And let's not forget about social media. We're scrolling through our feeds, expecting something new and exciting, but it's just the same old garbage over and over again. It's like the person who keeps checking the fridge, even though they know there's nothing there. Insanity. But you know what's not insane? Supporting this show. Because unlike some people, I actually try to deliver on my promises. I promise a couple laughs. I promise you some insight. I promise you authenticity. And unlike some politicians, I deliver on my promises. So let's raise a cup to sanity, my friends. And to all the insane people out there, don't worry. There's a place for you too. It's called Washington, D.C. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, welcome everyone. Guess that first one was a draft, I suppose. I'll have to go back and look and see what happened here, but wow. Change a setting or two. All of a sudden, nothing works. What are the odds of that, right? But I keep trying to do different things. I try not to do the same thing over and over again. You know, there is that quote, insanity is the definition. Oh, Jesus. I'm just checking these things. Yeah, okay. You know, this definition of insanity, you've all heard it, right? It's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And you've heard that that's Albert Einstein, right? You've seen the coffee mugs. You've seen the inspirational pictures with that quote on it. T-shirts. Yeah, that wasn't him. He didn't say that. In fact, this is one of those misattributed quotes, you know. Based on my research, this originated when there was an error made in the Bozeman Daily Chronicle back in 1983 in an editorial. It was in there, and the quote just kind of took off from there. Based on my research, based on the research of the guy that made this mistake back then, this is from Rita Mae Brown, who was a mystery novelist in 1983 book, Sudden Death. That's where the quote originated from. Not Albert Einstein. But it seems like something that Albert Einstein would say. So, who knows? Anyway, that's just a little fact check to get us going. But let's talk about all the awesome stories we're going to talk about today. We talk about the definition of insanity, and I want to talk about how it relates to this channel. Okay. I'm just... Huh. Okay, and how it relates to this channel. I'm going to fact check Earthquake 2001 from the Pacific Northwest. That's where I live. I want to talk about Parisians rioting, protesting, BlackRock in Paris. And what I've said in the past is that French don't play when it comes to protests. They know how to do it right. Got some new information on Coolio's death that I want to get to. The Cure, the rock band The Cure, are fighting scalpers. And it involves a concert here in Portland, Oregon. They're trying something new. I'll tell you about that. And lastly, got some good news. If you know anyone with Tourette's, you're going to want to stick around for that. But I want to talk about this idea of insanity and repeating the same thing over and over again. And I feel right now I'm in some weird parallel universe because everything I'm saying right now, I feel like I've already said it, but I don't know if anyone saw it. Okay, so forgive me, okay? But this is important stuff. When I started this year, I took like a year off, maybe over a year off, making videos. And at the beginning of this year, I wanted to live stream. I wanted to get the skill of a live streamer. And so I worked on my verbal tics. I worked on my verbal crutches, saying that. Different expressions that I use. I know one I do is I say all right too many times, but I'm working on getting better at live streaming. And that's one of the things that if you continually try to improve, you will improve. That's for sure. So I am trying to improve every day, live streaming. And I've kind of run the channel into the ground. Yesterday, I got 44 views on my video on YouTube. One was from my mom and one was from me. So what were it, 42 views? Insanity, right? That's insane. So what can I do differently? Because if I keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's insane, right? And so I got an email yesterday from YouTube that they're starting podcasts. And there's a podcast tab similar to the live tab. And so starting on Monday, I will have the show live at noon Pacific, just like I am now. But then the show will disappear. I will edit it, cut out the beginning part, maybe cut out some of the transitions and things. And I will then be posting that as a podcast. And I might be, have a new thumbnail and logo and things. But it will be under the podcast tab starting Monday. So perhaps under the podcast, the podcast area of YouTube, that's part of their music section. And my channel has been suppressed, I guess you'd say, under the regular part of YouTube. But perhaps as a podcast, perhaps it wouldn't be. And so I'm excited to try something new on YouTube. So this show will be a podcast starting on Monday. It'll still be streaming live at the regular place that you're here today for. But it will then disappear and it will then appear later as a podcast. Now, some other cool news on Rumble. They now have a permanent link for live shows. So if you want to watch me live on Rumble, you don't need to go to Rumble and search for me and then click on my channel and all that kind of stuff. You can just go to rumble.com/coffeeandnuance/live. And that is a permanent link to the live show. So if I am live on Rumble, I will be at that link. So that hopefully will make it easier for some people to find this show. I know it's tricky to find the show, depending on what platform you're on. Like on YouTube, you got to go to the channel and then click the live button. It's a little confusing. So they've made it really easy on Rumble. You can bookmark that. That's an easy way to watch the show. So starting Monday, like I say, it'll be a podcast. I'm repeating myself. Just check it out. We'll see. We'll see how it works. But we got to try something new if we want different results, right? Yeah. So, okay, let's get to the fact check of today. We're talking about fact checks. Okay. Talking about fact checks. Well, and if I have already told you this story, I'll tell it to you again real quick. AI-generated photos of a completely fake earthquake and tsunami. Oh. It's a mirror. Of a tsunami in the Pacific Northwest have been circulating on the internet. The images were created using the AI tool Midjourney and were posted to Tools Forum on Reddit. The post became popular with some people thinking the images were real. AI-generated images can rewrite history with minimal effort, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to tell which images are real and which are fake. as AI technology improves, it will only get harder to tell the difference. All right. So I want to give you, show you a couple different photos that they came up with on this. These were all AI generated, and they were from the artificial intelligence mid-journey portion of Reddit on that subreddit. So they weren't trying to fool anyone. But then once it took off and got some wider appeal, people thought it was real. Especially young people that weren't around in 2001. They didn't know that this didn't happen. So let's take a look at some of these pictures. Okay. Not a real picture of a mom and the kids looking scared. So let's just go through some of these and how good they are. That looks like a real disaster photo, although from 2001, that's a really crisp picture. Someone had a really good camera, I guess. That looks like an absolute disaster there. I mean, these are really believable. Well, I guess my computer is just really taxed here. Yeah, these are all AI generated. These are not real pictures. That's the amazing thing about this. And even though I tell you these are made by a computer, that looks shockingly real. I mean, if I were to see this, I would think it were real. And that's one of the things that we're going to have to deal with in the future. And that's the discussion, the discussion that I want to talk about is what can we do? How are we going to know if these things are real or not? Because look at these boats here. This absolutely looks like a real photo, and it's not. This local resident here doesn't exist. This is made up. This is a fake reporter on the scene. Oh, look, George W. Bush went out and met them. He was the president at the time. So this totally looks real. Wow. So this is the Canadian Prime Minister is visiting a collapsed remains of the British Columbia Parliament building. Yeah, none of that happened. None of that happened. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do now to fact check things if it's so easy to fake things? You know, I think back to all the stories that we have in history, and I wonder, are they real or not? Are they true or not? We can't really go back in time to find out if they are. They're just the stories that we have. are the stories that we have from 100 years ago. No one's alive to verify, what happened 100 years ago. How do we know if those stories are real or not? It's really tricky. And now, with the improvement of this AI technology, it makes it really tough. And I think that, as for fact-checking, the best thing that I can come up with, is you need to find sources that you trust. I think that's what it comes down to. Does this source repeatedly do the best job of authenticating something or not? Or is this source repeatedly spinning lies? I think that's the only way that we're going to be able to fact check in the future, because all those pictures, they looked so real. They looked so good. Now, there are some tools that you can use to digital forensics of photos and whatnot, but it's getting better and better all the time. And so I think that's something that you're going to have to think about. How are you going to judge something? How are you going to judge a story going forward, knowing that you can't really trust pictures? And with this video now, and I've shown you on this channel, I had an AI do my voice, and it sounded like me. And there's AI, artificial intelligence video, that is really good now as well, that can fool people as well as these photos today. I think it's going to come down to trusting a source. And that's what we're all going to have to do going forward, is to find reporters, find historians, and see if we trust them or not. Because I don't know what else to do, and I'm looking for advice. So if you have some ideas on going forward on how do we check this stuff that we don't know about, let me know. That's not really a fact check today. I just wanted to talk about that idea in fact checking, because it's really scary. These pictures were so good. They look real to me. And when I saw the picture of George W. Bush shaking the hand there at the rubble, like in Seattle, right? That's shocking. So, but what do you think? Let me know what you think. What can we do? What can we do? Because we can't trust the fact checkers. I mean, that we know. But we just can't trust random people on the internet, I don't think that's a good idea either. So I just want to know what you think about that. Let's get to some other stories today. Let's talk about Paris. Protesters in Paris entered the Centurial office block, which houses BlackRock's office, to demonstrate against the French government's pension reforms. About 100 people, including representatives from several labor unions, chanted anti-reform slogans for about 10 minutes on the ground floor of the building. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has not been involved in the pension reforms. The French government has triggered special constitutional powers to push the controversial legislation through without a vote. The changes mean that from 2027, people will have to work longer to receive full state pension benefits. Parisians know how to protest. They know how to protest. Look at this. This looks fantastic as far as a protest goes. And they're not messing around. BlackRock, the largest, what did I say? Hedge fund, right? Wealth management company. They are one of the big problems in the world. And so, they went to the lobby, ground floor, 10 minutes. Of course, if it happened, somewhere here, depending on their political beliefs, probably all those people would be rounded up and held without a trial for a couple years. But, the France isn't the U.S. Yeah. But what the French government did here is they used emergency legislation to change the law without having to follow their own rules. And you saw that they did that here in the U.S. too during the pandemic, right? They used emergency rules to change how things were done, to bypass laws. And that's really a scary thing. I saw it firsthand myself. I'm relating this to myself because I know me the best. Here in Portland, we had statewide emergency for COVID. And because of that, I had someone living in front of my house, right, in a car. They parked it in front of my house. And I couldn't get him to move. And when I called the police, they said, we can't do anything because they've declared this an emergency and we're not allowed to move anyone because it's an emergency. And so I had someone living in front of my house for 2 months. Yeah. I don't think anyone likes when the government just decides to use emergency powers so that they don't have to follow the rules. That's what's going on in Paris. That's why they're protesting. But I got to hand it to the French. They know how to get a good photo op, because this looks fantastic with the red smoke and the red flares. Congrats. Much, much better job. Much better photos and video. We could learn a few things here in the U.S. as to how to stage a protest. So, do you have any thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. Oh, Coolio. Y'all know Coolio. He died last September due to the effects of fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamines, according to his manager. He was 59 and had a heart disease and asthma, and had recently used PCP at the time of his death. Coolio was known for his Grammy-winning single Gangsta's Paradise and recording the opening of the Nickelodeon show Kenan and Kel. His death was deemed accidental by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office. Did you know that Coolio passed? Somehow I missed that in the news when it happened. They released the cause of his death yesterday, but I didn't even know that he had passed. Somehow that slipped by me. So, yet again, this is another person who passed using fentanyl. And fentanyl really is one of the biggest killers in the U.S. I think if we paid as much attention to fentanyl deaths as we're paying attention to other types of deaths, we'd be doing something about it. But I have to wonder, is it because the general public doesn't care about people that are drug addicts? I mean, is that it? That we just don't care about these drug addicts, and so therefore we're not going to put the emphasis or the effort into it that we would put into, say, drunk driving or gun violence or the environment or cough, cough, you know. Put a lot of emphasis in a lot of different things, but really not fentanyl. And I have to wonder why. And that is, again, I want to reinforce this. This is a really good reason to not use drugs. In the past, I wouldn't say that. In the past, you know, you could do a bump or a key bump of coke or something like that, and yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice of an adult that they want to make. But now you don't know what you're getting, and so many drugs have fentanyl mixed in them that there's all these accidental overdoses of people because they don't know that they're getting this deadly drug. So don't do drugs, kids. But as far as like morally, you know, I have no problem with what adults want to do. I'm just very concerned about people accidentally dying. That's really scary, and I wish we had a bigger emphasis on the fentanyl crisis in this country. I don't know. I got nothing else to say about that. I'll check your comments on that. Let's get to something a tad more positive, shall we? Okay. Goth band. The Cure is implementing a new ticket system to combat scalpers and high ticket fees for their Shows of a Lost World tour. While they're still using Ticketmaster for sales, they're not using the online box office dynamic pricing system. Fans are required to sign up for verified fan pre-sales, and tickets are priced firmly according to sections, with prices varying by location. After many fans complained of high ticket fees, lead singer Robert Smith confronted Ticketmaster on Twitter, and refunds of up to $10 were offered. The band has added 4 new shows, including one in Portland, that will be sold through a standard sale with tickets not being transferable. Prices range from $30 to $230. Now, this is really exciting, and tickets went on sale at 10 a.m. this morning. I forgot as I was trying to get ready for the show. I got on about 10:30 this morning, and there were still tickets available. I thought I would want to go to the show, but there were no, it's at the Rose Garden or the Moda Center in Portland, and that's where the Trailblazers play. And there were no tickets on the floor. There were no tickets in the 100 section, so the lower bowl. There were some tickets in the 2 and the 300, and they were reasonably priced. You could get tickets in the 300 section for about $50, including fees. So that's pretty reasonable considering a band such as The Cure. And normally, a show like that would have sold out immediately. So this is an interesting idea that this one show in Portland where they're trying it out, they're making tickets non-transferable. So when you buy your ticket, if you buy, let's say, 2 tickets, so it'd be me and a +1, I have to show up, and they're checking IDs at the door. So my ticket is for me and a guest, and I can't resell it to anybody else. Now, you may think that I'd like to be able to resell it. The real problem is when that is allowed, you don't even get a ticket to begin with because you have all these bots and scammers, and I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff behind the scenes. It's not like the ticket industry or the rock and roll industry has clean hands on any of this. If you're interested, there was a very good podcast this week about Ticketmaster. The podcast is called Your Favorite Band Sucks, and they did an episode on Ticketmaster, and they really went through and explained all of the problems with Ticketmaster and Live Nation. There is a lot of language in that podcast that you have to overlook if that bothers you. However, it's a fantastic episode, and they really lay out a lot of the problems that go on with live music ticketing in this country. So if you're interested, check that out. I'll put a link to that podcast in the description. But I'm interested to see. Now, I ended up not getting tickets to the Cure. I didn't want to sit on the 300 level. I don't know. I'm too old for that. That's too far away. I don't want to have binoculars. I don't have to be there. If I go to a concert like that, I want to actually be able to see the stage with my own eyes and not have to look at the screen, because if I'm looking at the screen, what's the point? But it'll be interesting because I really applaud them for trying something different. And that's the theme today. You got to do something different if you want something to change. And so Robert Smith of The Cure says, you know what? We're going to try something different with this concert in Portland. Non-transferable tickets. We only want people that want to come see us, and we don't want people buying up all the tickets and putting them on the secondary market. So I applaud that. And I think that if that's something that you care about, you should too. I think that's something really good thing. And lastly, let's get to some good news. NeoPulse, a new wearable device that delivers electronic stimulation to the nerves in the wrist, is showing promising results in reducing tics for those with Tourette syndrome. The device aims to influence the brain networks involved in generating tics and combat some of the symptoms of the condition. According to a clinical trial, people who receive active simulations saw tic frequency reduce by more than 25%, and after wearing the device for a month, tics reduced by more than 35%. The team is currently working on turning the prototype into a commercial device and estimates it will be available by 2026. Now, this is a picture of the singer Louis Capaldi, English singer. You may know him. He has a beautiful voice. But he has Tourette's as well. And here he's demonstrating that he's wearing the device there on his wrist. It looks like a really big wristwatch. And he has been very happy with the results from it. He says that typically for himself, now everyone is different that has Tourette's. It's not all universal. He says that he mainly gets it when he's extra tired. So if he is not tired, he doesn't suffer as much as he would normally. And I didn't know this, but there's over 1 million people in the U.S. that suffer from some level of Tourette's. And that's a lot more than I would have guessed. Because, what's that, 1 out of every 350 people? I've never met anyone with Tourette's, or that I knew had Tourette's. So I've never seen it firsthand. But there are, like I say, over 1 million people in the U.S. That suffer to some extent from this. And this is really exciting news. So if you know someone in this, you could tell them about this research, and perhaps this will be a solution for them going forward. I think this is exciting, good news. That's the good news I have for you today. Stick around the after show. I'll be answering your questions and talking about what's coming up next week. But remember, Monday I will be live, and then I will be under the podcast tab on YouTube. And on Rumble, I'll still be on Rumble. So be sure to join me Monday. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. And until then, peace. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Boy, today was kind of an S show, if you will. That, nope. There we go. Nope. Oh well, let's just get rid of that. Wow, not the way I wanted it to work. You know, I've been messing around with different settings, and apparently I changed a setting that did not work very well. Yikes. So I got a lot more work to do this weekend on fixing this stuff. I want to go through some live chat. First, over on Rumble, Tobias is here, says, where fact checks get checked for their factiness, fact check yourself before you wreck yourself. Thank you. Duggo hit me up with a 5-spot. Hello, Fact Check Friday. I appreciate you, Duggo. Thank you. Again, it's got a little whale next to you. Still not sure about that. We'll keep working on that. There he is. Nope. Gonzo the Good hit me up with a 5-spot as well. Fact Check Friday. He says, perfect. I'm just logging on now, and he restarted. We might not be living in a simulation, but we probably are living in a fabrication. History probably isn't what we're told it is. I would agree. You know, they say that the history is written by the winners. That's how it is. Let's see. Miranda's saying, again, I don't see the chat of others. Well, let me... I see it, and it is on, it's on there on Rumble, so I see it, so you're good there. Let's look at the YouTube chat that we have today. Again, I really appreciate everyone's patience. This did not go the way I wanted it to go at all, especially since I was announcing, you know, the future here. Let's see. Lots of people saying hi. Hi, everyone. I appreciate you. All government employees shall wear Hawaiian shirts. I like it. I like it. Hawaiian shirts always distracted me when I worked at TSA checkpoint, says Natasha. Thankfully, terrorists did not catch on. Yeah, I guess if you're trying to hide stuff, really exotic shirts are a good job if you're trying to sneak a flask in somewhere. You going into the movies and you're trying to sneak in extra snacks and you want to hide them underneath your shirt. If you got a loud shirt with lots of stuff going on, it's easier to conceal. That is true. It's not why I like the Hawaiian shirts, but that is an extra benefit. Miranda says, today is the day we Christians observe the crucifixion of Jesus of Nazareth. Yes, today is Good Friday, and that is the event that happened on Good Friday. Let's see. And a lot of comments about how it's not working. So, yeah. Oh, geez. So I'll just keep going down. And everyone's telling me they didn't hear the beginning. I will have to double check and see, because I did the beginning. And I thought it worked, but I got to work on this system. But again, it goes back to the theme of the day. You got to do something different to get different results. And so, yes, I did change the bit rate that was being uploaded at. I changed the resolution slightly. I changed the frames per second. There was lots of changes that I made, and apparently didn't work out quite as well. So, this is Countdown. Good. Guilty on the same kind of women over and over. Lucid Moments of Reality 5150 says. Yeah, it's, I get it. Same. Of course, basically the women that I am into, right? I really like women that like me and think that I'm awesome. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And I don't understand anyone that seems like it should be universal, right? I want someone that thinks I'm the best, you know? I can't imagine being with someone that thought I was, I don't know, not the best, or someone that, thought I was dumb or thought I was uncaring or whatever the case may be. So that's been my type forever. And basically I don't choose. They choose me. That's kind of how it works in this in this world. Let's see. Natasha says, I'm actually thinking of going back to a whipped cream diet because it actually did work. It may work, but ooh, yikes. That would not work for me. Albert Einstein, the war costume designer. Sudden death sounds like something I watched on Rumble recently. Different sudden death. Hopefully that doesn't trigger any algorithm. But that was the name of the mystery novel that first had the quote about the definition of insanity. Love how conservative French people are. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily conservative. Europe is so different than the US that our definitions of liberal and conservative don't even make sense to Europeans. They're totally different. Once live is edited, the chat disappears on replay. Just a heads up. Yes, that is something else that I'm working on. They don't let me have it permanently checked. And I have to go into a setting and click it every day. And again, I need to do my checklist. Thank you for the reminder. But I am working to make that the best show that I can. I like the new tiki guy on your desk. Yeah, you like this little... This is actually the... like a money god, if you will. Let's see. There we go. Little money god here. I thought that was kind of a fun carving. Let's see. Tom, what platform do you prefer to be watched on? I don't care. I would like Rumble to build up so that there were a community on Rumble as well. On Rumble, there appears to be, often there'll be, 3 people a day commenting live. It'd be neat if there were a whole bunch of people commenting live over there as well. I'm still trying to figure out Rumble. Up to 89 subscribers on Rumble, so killing it over there. Up from 69 like a week ago, so that's pretty good. Sell a coffee and nuance mug, I'll buy one. You know, I have been working on these some new logos for the channel for so long. I mean, years. And I've just never finalized any of them. And yes, I add that to the list of things that I need to do. But yeah, I need some merch. That'd be fun. Are you real or AI generated? Right now, I'm real. If I were AI generated, you don't do AI generation for, 20 views. So that's what it is. Natasha says, I don't feel real sometimes. AI don't know anymore. Slow computer must be an Apple. Yeah, this is an Apple. I've been looking at different solutions on how to stream in higher bit, and it's real interesting when you're doing something like this project. I've made it way too complicated. I've made it complicated. Pardon me. I've made it complicated because that's what interests me. I could easily just do it from my laptop and just use the webcam, and I don't need a fancy microphone. I just like the idea of all the different graphics and everything. That excites me. I know that it's not necessarily maybe what you're looking for, but it's what keeps me going. But I've looked at one of the options that I have is getting an external video card in they call it a breakaway box, and I may be getting one of those so that it sends the video signal to this extra device, and that it does the encoding that sends it out, so that apparently it can do a much better job than just the computer itself. So I'm looking at different solutions as to how I can do a better show here. They started rewriting history a long time ago. That is true. Let's all rewrite history now. We have the tools to do it, says Natasha. Yeah, they have been rewriting history a long time. I don't even know how much of history is true or not, but the thing is I can't even verify it. Right? I can't even verify it. You just think of it, any of the stories of old, well, I don't know. How do you check? It's weird. And then you get in a loop where you don't even know what the hell is going on. Yeah. This virtual reality we're living in is getting scarier by the day. I'm going to make myself queen of some beautiful tropical island. Well, that's a great plan, Natasha. You should go for it. Hey, Bastille, what's up? Hey, everybody. I still need someone to explain all the mud flood evidence, but they rewrote history. Lucid says, I'm already a king. I'm just looking for an island. Well, there you go. Nice. Critical thinking applied. Also, be comfortable with the unknown, says Martin. That is very good advice. Be comfortable about stuff you don't know, but also be comfortable being wrong. It's not a big deal to be wrong. And just admit it and move on. I admire people that can admit their mistakes. It's not a big deal. And the people that get defensive and defend themselves over every single thing, it's a really bad look, and it's not persuasive at all. From an outsider watching someone when they're defensive, when they can't admit a mistake, you just don't respect that person's opinion as much going forward. So that is my take on that. So proud of France, not a BlackRock fan. I don't know who is a BlackRock fan unless you're a shareholder, you know. Then you're probably okay with what they do to make all the money that they do. Awesome photo. Is it real or CGI? Yeah, all those photos were CGI or AI made. They were artificial intelligence developed those pictures. I will leave a link to that story in the description. You can go check out those pictures yourself. You can't trust your money, and now photos. What if someone makes AI camera footage for an alibi? Hopefully we can avoid invasive social credit scores as a way for trust measurement. You know, I hadn't thought of that yet. I hadn't thought of that either. But there could be AI used to give you an alibi. You know? But if you need an alibi, you're probably committing a crime, and I would say probably shouldn't do that. You know, we live in such a fantastic time with a little creativity. I believe there's more opportunity right now, 2023, than there's ever been in the history of the world. That's my opinion. And with a little creativity and some work, I think that you'll be able to make it. I really do. And if you got a good idea, you can send it to me, and maybe I'll steal it. No, I'm just kidding. So I don't think you need to work on an alibi for a crime, because I think that there's so many opportunities right now. I really am optimistic about the individual going forward. Now, I don't know about society going forward, but I think on an individual basis, I'm really optimistic. Is Coolio's picture real? Yeah, that picture's real. That's him. R.I.P. Coolio. I agree. You don't even know what you're getting anymore. Yeah. That's the thing with drugs, is you don't know what you're getting, and they're saying that nearly all street drugs are mixed with fentanyl. Nearly all street drugs are mixed with fentanyl. So, not that I would ever touch cocaine, but I certainly wouldn't touch cocaine in 2023. You're just looking to die. Gullible Skeptic says he had to give up his heroin habit because of all the fentanyl. Quite a buzzkill. Well, I'm glad you're off the horse there. Right, don't do drugs, you'll have a better life. Agreed. I have had poppies growing in my yard for years, but never figured out how to make heroin. Yeah, they're different. They're not the poppies that you have growing in your yard. You're not going to be able to do it from them. And you're going to need a lot more than a couple out in the backyard to do such a thing. The Cure trying to fix things. Très apropos. That is cool. All the groups from my generation, 70s and 80s, look pretty rough these days. Well, you know, Robert Smith has got to be, right? He's got to be 60, I believe. So, you know, if you're a rock star and you're 60, you know, chances are you're not, you know, I think he looks good. I think he looks good. But you know what? The thing with, like, for example, Robert Smith, I think he looks good considering how he looked in the 80s. You know, if he, if you saw him in his 80s, he wasn't exactly, you know, looking like a fit man at that point, you know. The Ryman over here in Nashville is a great place to see a concert. Well, that's good. Daily Wire gets together there, I think. Okay. Andrew Padilla has a couple episodes on Tourette's. He interviews a few people. Okay, very cool. There is a new device coming out to help with tinnitus. I think that most people call it tinnitus or tinnitus. That's a huge problem that a lot of people have. I do. I have tinnitus. I also have hyperacusis. I have an insane hearing. Okay, so I can hear really high-pitched things. And a lot of times the issue that I have is I can hear things that other people can't hear. And sometimes I don't know if what I'm hearing is real or not. You know, that's an issue that I have, and that's why I walk around most of the day with some noise-canceling headphones, because I have issues with that. But yes, there are some new devices with tinnitus, and perhaps I'll cover that soon. A shock collar on your wrist. That's kind of what it looks like, but I think it's just a constant like electrical stimulation. Do the live views still count toward your channel? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. It's scrolled here. Okay. Do the live views still count toward your channel if the vid is deleted after? Like once it's edited and reposted, or maybe it'll end up being more, guess it's always an experiment with YouTube. Yeah, that's the thing. I watched that's a tough thing, you know, like I look at like what Jimmy Dore does, right? Jimmy Dore will have his show on live and then it'll be off. And then he'll post clips of it later. The thing is, if you're big enough, right, it doesn't matter. If 1,000 people watch you live and then you take that off and then you post clips, if you have a big enough audience, it doesn't really matter. The problem with my channel is there's so few people watching it that when you take off the live thing and you put up something new, you're not going to get many views. But it is what it is. And like I say, we got to try something different. You know, 42 views yesterday on YouTube. We got to try something new. So I'm excited to try this podcast on Monday. We'll give that a shot. And like I said at the beginning of this year, I didn't do live streams before 2023, you know. And I said I'll do 100 live streams and then I'll reevaluate. I've yet to do 100, but I'm getting near 100 shows that I've done, and I'm reevaluating. And so maybe I'll record it live, chop it up, make it a podcast, maybe put out, you know, maybe I could put out the monologue as a short. I don't know. Got to try some new stuff, though. Let's see. I watched a recent video. Can I share a link on the Discord server? And Natasha says, no, I tried to get on. Can you leave a link in the comments later? The thing on YouTube now, they're making it harder to leave links to outside sources on YouTube. So they've changed that. I know that I can leave a link, but I think they're not allowing a lot of links in comments. I think they're automatically deleted. I have nothing to do with it. That's YouTube's doing. So one thing that you can do is you can go to the Discord. There's a link in the description. It's a less formal community area about the channel, and you can share things there. Let's see. Tobias is here, says, I might start watching Rumble only soon. I'll miss the YouTube regulars, though. Well, what I am trying to do, and again, I tried it today. I changed lots of settings that didn't exactly work. I want to make the comments bigger, and then at the end, I'll have big comments on both sides, Rumble and YouTube, so you can see everything that's going on there. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe try some shorts to bring traffic too. Sorry if you saw that comment already. I'm halfway through listening at work. I've never tried a short, so perhaps I will. The thing is, I don't like, as you know, like I mean, I did get some tips today, so I appreciate Gonzo and Duggo over on Rumble hitting me up with a couple bucks. I appreciate that greatly. But I'm doing this for fun. I'm not making anything from YouTube right now on this channel at all. So everything that I do, this is just, I'm doing it for you, and I'm doing it for me. But I don't want to make this like my all-day thing unless I was actually making money, you know. But right now, I pretty much lose money every day. This is just a hobby that I enjoy. But I really don't want to spend the whole day editing, and I could easily spend 24 hours a day just doing different things, chopping things up, putting them on different things, spending, you know, an hour on Twitter every day, commenting, trying to draw more traffic to me. I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to live my life. It's Friday. I want to get out and enjoy the world. You know, I'm about to walk my dog. I don't want to spend all day doing that. So, yeah. I like Natasha says, I like Jimmy Dore, but I don't like how he does his show. Backtracking not possible with his setup. Okay. Eerie Fairy says, yes, I like the idea of Monologue as a short. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah. I will, I'm looking forward to trying this podcast thing. I'll try the short thing. I'm going to try to figure out how I can get a better picture, because when I stream, it looks okay, but I want it to look even better, because I have nice cameras. I have really nice cameras. They're just not showing up when I stream live. If I record it, it looks really good, and when I go live, it doesn't look quite as good. So I'm going to try to make some adjustments, maybe get some more equipment to make improvements. But I just want to remind you, now I've never set out anything, but I do have a email list in the description. You can sign up for that, and perhaps one day I'll send out an announcement. The link for the Discord is in the description as well. And like I say, I will be live on Monday at noon on the West Coast. And then I'm going to try to put up the podcast. And hopefully you can all go. And even if you saw my show live, just let the podcast play in the background. And who knows, maybe that will take off. Like in the old days of YouTube when I was getting thousands of views per video. You know, perhaps we got a chance. So I really need you on Monday. On Monday, I really need you to show up. I really appreciate your support. And to be honest, I would have quit doing this live streaming if it weren't for all the awesome people in the chat. If it weren't for the awesome people in the chat, I would have stopped doing this a while ago. So just so you know, you're the reason that I'm still going on this. So anyway, that's all I have. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. I got so much to work on, but I will be doing that, and I'll be back on Monday. I will see you then. Love you. Peace.